All right. It is so great to have everybody here, and we have an exciting speaker to come and talk about some pretty cool things and mixing some fun things and science things, which are fun, and all kinds of exciting things. So, but first of all, we're going to start off with a scripture reading of an exciting story. Okay, so we have a couple students here today. Would either of you be up for reading? Okay, Sammy. Okay, Sammy, we'll bring it up. I'm going to share the screen. If I can figure out how to do this. All right, Sammy, can you see that?
Yeah. You'll have to scroll down on it because I
Yep.
can't see. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll scroll down when we get there. This is from a book from the Old Testament, and there's some violence in this. There's a war happening, and I'll explain a little bit. And it's from the Old Testament book of 1 Samuel 17. 1 Samuel 17. And if you have any struggles with any words, do not worry. That's what we're here for. Okay, Sammy, whenever you're ready.
I need help with the first one.
Okay, the Philistines. Philistines. Okay, that's a weird word. Go ahead.
The Philistines were attacking the Israelites. Every morning, a giant Philistine named Goliath challenged any Israelite to fight him. Goliath was bigger and
hold on
taller.
Hold on a second,
Yeah.
because we hear this name a lot in this. His name is Goliath. Say that with me, Goliath.
Goliath.
Okay,
Yeah.
Continue on then.
Okay. Goliath was bigger and taller than anyone else, and he was fierce. He wore heavy armor and carried a sword, spear, and a large shield. No one dared to fight him. David was a young shepherd boy who had faith in the Lord. His older brothers were soldiers in Israel's army. One day, David took his brothers some food. When he arrived, the army's camp had heard.
He heard Goliath's challenge.
David asked the soldiers why no one would defend Israel. His brothers were angry and told him to go take care of the sheep. But David knew the Lord would defend Israel. David asked the soldiers why no one could defend.
I'm sorry, I moved it on you. We're on to the next paragraph. Okay. And it's King Saul. King Saul.
Okay. King Saul knew of David's faith, so he asked to see David. David told Saul he was not afraid to fight Goliath. Yeah. Yep. David explained that once he was looking for his sheep, he killed a lion and bear. The Lord protected him then, and David knew the Lord would protect him now. David collected 5 smooth stones and put them in a bag. He took his sling and shepherd's staff.
Shepherd's staff.
And went to face Goliath. When Goliath saw David, he shouted and made fun of him. He said a shepherd boy would not beat him. David shouted back that he trusted the Lord to protect him. David said he could beat Goliath to show the Lord's greatness. David ran towards Goliath. He quickly threw a stone with his sling. The stone hit Goliath in the forehead, and the giant man fell to the ground. The Lord helped David defeat Goliath without a sword or armor.
Okay, very good, Samuel. Thank you very much. Aiden, so good to see you. Thank you very much for coming. I know the speaker is excited to see you too. Okay. So, okay, how many of you have heard that story before? Okay. All right. So Goliath was a huge, huge man, and David was just a young boy, and he used his sling to throw a stone and hit Goliath in the forehead. Okay. Now, when you think of a sling, what do you think of? Okay. Go ahead, Carlin.
Either like a sling for a broken arm or like a slingshot.
A slingshot. Okay, we're talking about a slingshot, and a sling is very good. Okay. And if you're thinking of a slingshot, what are you thinking about, Carlin, when you hear the word slingshot?
Like something that you could like fire a rock with.
Right. And very often they're in the shape of a V, and then you pull back like that. Okay, slingshot. All right, that is a slingshot. There's a different kind of sling shot that that David probably used, and it didn't have that stick with the Y in it that you would throw. I'm going to bring up a picture to show you, if I can find my share screen. Okay, we're going back to this story. Now I am going to scroll down. And this is probably this kind of sling that David used. What can you tell me about that? Anybody? I can't see your hand, so just go ahead and speak up. Anybody?
It has bungee string.
Okay. Well, David would not have had bungee string. This has bungee string. David probably was made out of leather or a strong cord. Okay, but you're right. Okay. Any other thoughts about it? Does it look like the slingshot you would normally think of?
No, but maybe he would spin it around and then stop it and it would throw it.
Okay, that's exactly right. Okay. So if you look carefully over in the person's left hand, he's holding this. Can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Holding this rock. Okay, everybody. Inside this sort of leather pouch, you put this rock and you put it in there. Okay, and then you follow the cords over to the other side. You notice this one has a loop that's attached to his finger, right? Everybody see that? Okay, and the other one has a knot, and it's just a loose end. So what you would do is you put the rock in one, and then like you said, you would hold it and you would start swinging in a circle over your head. Faster and faster and faster. And I've seen some of these, and they go so fast you can hear it woo, 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 woo. Okay, that's how fast they throw them. And then you let go of this end, the end with the knot, and hold on. That's why this loop is on, so you don't let go of that end. You just let go, and then the rock goes flying. Okay, makes sense? So picture that, you've got it on there and you're spinning it over your head, and you let go of one end of the rope, and then the rock is going to go keep flying. Now, here we're talking about the physics. Quickly, we'll go down here. Okay, do you see this cartoon? Okay, so here we have David, and he's swinging that sling around his head, and he lets go of one end. Notice he's still holding on to one end, and the rock goes straight in a straight line, and it bangs Goliath in the head. Okay, now the science we're talking about is the force that's spinning around in a circle is a centrifugal force. Right here on the bottom, it's centrifugal. Say that with me. Centrifugal.
Centrifugal.
Okay. And then the force that shoots the rocket straight, or the rock straight out, is called inertia. Inertia. Okay. Now let's go back to you. Centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. It's when something is spinning in a circle, it's the force that pushes the force out. That's that force. Okay. Can you think of anything in your house that uses centrifugal force to spin something? Go ahead, Aiden.
When I put soup on a spoon and then like fling it like.
If you fling it, yep, that's the force. Okay. Any other? Well, and maybe your parents wouldn't care for that, but okay. But that's an example. Any other places you can think in your house where you use centrifugal force, where something spins and the force pushes it out? How many of you have ever eaten salad?
Oh, a salad spinner.
A salad spinner, right. Okay, Carlin, have you ever used a salad spinner?
I've never heard of that.
Okay, so obviously, Sammy, can you explain how a salad spinner works?
If you want to get all the water out of salad or spinach,
When
you put it in.
you wash it with water and then you put it in the
Uh-huh.
salad spinner, and then explain how it works.
And then you push the tab and it spins it around, and it's basically a bowl inside of a bowl, and the inside bowl has holes in it, and when you spin it, all of the water gets pushed out and into the big bowl,
And what force pushes the water out?
the spinning.
And what is that force called?
Centrifugal force.
That's exactly right. And you also find it in when you do the laundry. If you ever watch it spinning around, it's pushing the water out. Okay, I'm going to share one more thing, and then we're going to go to our guest speaker. This is a fascinating subject, okay? And so a sling, we're right here. A sling could hurl a stone of about 1 ounce at 100 or 62 miles an hour, woo, 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 and hit something 200 meters or more away.
Wow.
Okay, and really hurt somebody. The Guinness World Record for projecting a stone by sling is 1,432 feet. That's more than 4.5 football fields.
That's crazy.
Okay, and here's just a quick example of, this is a person spinning, the centrifugal force is pushing it out, and the inertia is what makes the rock go. And it always goes in a straight line. That's one of the rules, and that's Newton's second law of motion. Centrifugal force pushing out. It's really complicated, and I'm not going to get into it, mostly because I don't really understand it myself. But anyway, so there's all kinds of physics involved in these Bible stories. The interesting thing is, you have to know when to let go of that sling, otherwise the rock could go anywhere. You have to know just when to let it go to make sure it goes in the direction. And
That was a God thing.
yes. So, all right, without further ado, we're going to move on in our science and faith class to talk with our guest speaker tonight. And her name is Cathy Noth, and she's going to tell you some exciting stuff about her experiences. Okay, so Cathy, it is all yours. We are all ears.
Great. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to start at the beginning here, I think. Hang on. Okay. So I had put some scientific words around my volleyballs here. And velocity, can you think of a skill in volleyball that the ball could go fast or slow? What skill would make that ball go fast or slow?
Serving it?
Serving. Yeah, perfect. Great. And then the force behind it, usually what creates the force, if you're serving, what is it? What creates the force?
When you hit the ball.
Hand.
That's right, your hand to ball, okay? And depends how hard you hit it. A volleyball court is 60 feet long. And so it's 30 feet on each side. And the server stands back at the serving line, and she's gonna have to have enough force to get it over the net. And some great servers, do you know how fast they can serve the ball?
How fast can they serve?
How fast they can serve the ball? They can serve over 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
The faster the force is, the sooner that ball's going to go on the other side of the net. I did some video in my gym last night. And
Cool.
I know, and I have a player
Oh my
that
God.
helped me do some fun science projects. So the first one is serving. So this is Tava. And I'm going to talk a little bit. Okay, welcome to volleyball. And there's 3 different kinds of balls. I'm holding one that has a ball. Okay, so I have some volleyballs that are really tethered and worn, and this may cause the flight of the ball when it crosses the net. My player, Tava, has the original body ball that is smooth panels. And then Tava is holding a ball that has dimples on it, like a golf ball. Which ball do you think, A, B, or C, would have the best flight time? Okay, A, B, or C? What do you think, Sammy?
C, because they used to make golf balls without the little holes and they didn't fly as good.
Nice. Okay, Carlin.
Also C.
Okay.
Also C. All right, so let's see what happens, okay? So here's my tethered ball.
Okay.
Okay, and then Tava's gonna serve this ball. All right, and I want you to, can we move the, let's see. Okay, now pay attention to when her hand first touches the ball, and then we're gonna count the seconds, okay? So tell me when to stop. Tell me when to stop.
Now.
Yeah.
Now, good. All right. So the point of contact, the force behind it, and we're going to see, we're at 30.06. And we're going to see how long that ball takes to get to the other side of the court.
Okay. Now. Okay.
Yeah. So back here, right there. Remember what it was? 30.06. Okay, hang on one second.
There, right?
Right there. Right there. All right. So that was almost a second and a half.
Okay.
Okay, so that was the bulge ball. Okay, here's the smooth ball. All right, so this is what usually is in my gym. You know, the panels are smooth. And so going to serve this again.
Okay.
Ready? Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, yeah, she's really fast.
Okay, so stop.
Run.
Okay, that was 2 seconds. 1/1002.
Oh.
Okay, so that took longer. All right, and then now the
dimpled ball, I bet.
the dimple ball. See the dimples on it?
Look at that.
Okay, so now we're gonna see if you guys are right. All right. So she's going to get ready to serve. Now, this is going to go fast.
1.
Okay, so it's at 20. Sorry. Is that 20?
Yeah,
All
right,
right.
right around there.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I am too. Yeah, so it landed where? Right
Right in front of the chair.
there. Look at
there.
that.
Yep.
So I think you guys are right. That dimple ball is the fastest.
Wow.
Okay, and you know, they talk about the air currents, and with the serve, see where I have my blue line?
Yeah.
We like our service to serve below the antenna. The antenna is the stick on the net.
Okay.
And if they serve under that, that ball will be probably a second or second and a half of time from hand to passer on the other side of the net. Pretty cool.
That
So
is so cool.
What was the answer?
1 second.
Yeah,
So
1 second. Good. Okay, here's another one. Now, so force behind the ball, we call it hitting or spiking or attacking. That the player takes an approach, so she has momentum, and then she's gonna swing with her arm and her hand's gonna touch the ball. And now, because of gravity, she's in the air and her hand's on top of the ball. So the ball is going much faster. There are a couple other skills that take gravitational force behind. And can you guess what that is? Yes, the tack or the spike.
The spike.
And with the tack and spike, the speed of the arm dictates how fast the ball's going to go and how the player finishes, what direction, angle, down the line. And she can also control the speed by tipping or roll shotting. Okay, so now we're going to see the first attack here. And see how her hand, she's on top of it, so the ball goes down. And so she is controlling where she puts the ball. Okay, so let's say on the other side of the net, there was a block. And so she's trying to avoid those hands and she's hitting at angle.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, it does for me. Sorry. Wow. I wouldn't want to get hit by one of those balls.
Okay. And this, oops, sorry. This last one that she did. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Okay, so that's the cut shot, which we call the angle. And then that's down the middle. And then she did an off-speed ball. See how high that ball is?
Right.
She just barely tapped it. So the ball stayed up a little bit higher because of the gravity, but she took some force off of it And now all the defense is going, what? You didn't hit the ball? And that's how we trick them. And then
Okay.
the ball falls on the other side of the court.
That is cool. So using force in so many different ways.
Right.
Mhm.
And then there's one that she's going to hit down the line. Right there.
Wow.
So, yes. Good. And then there's one more other skill. There's one more other skill. And I have a passing target. And passing again is gravity. And Tava makes a platform with her forearms.
Oh, like this.
Okay, so here's her platform. Right there. So she has this platform and her job is to keep that ball above the antenna, not too high, and then into the basket. What do you
Ooh.
think? Is she gonna get it?
Probably.
Almost.
Oh,
Here's this one. So every ball she
Yeah.
takes, she makes adjustments. You know, that she doesn't want to swing very high or the ball's going to go up to the ceiling. So that force of the ball coming to her forearms, and then she has to direct it. So there's some angles that happen as well. So I'll be throwing an angle here, right there, that angle right there.
Okay.
That angle right there. Since she moved and the target doesn't move, she has to make an angle to get that ball to the setter.
That is so cool.
yeah.
Look at all those forces at work.
That's right. And Tava is a senior at Middleton. She wants to go into engineering and she might want to play volleyball as well in college.
Oh, so this was right up her alley.
That's right. She kind of helped me out. So I appreciate that. So I'm going to close it with a few words here, okay?
Okay.
That I taped. So let's go over what we learned today. Obviously, gravity affects the way the serve is going to move and float. Okay, the gravity of hitting, you know, how fast that ball, the faster you hit it, the sooner it's going to hit the floor. And passing has gravity where you want to make sure that that ball doesn't go too high and it doesn't go too low. Then getting to force, this really affects the serving here. All right, how hard are you going to serve that ball? Depends how deep it's going to be, depends how short it's going to be. And then the angles, again, affect all three of them. But I like to see the angles on passing and hitting mostly. Okay, when a server is serving at you, your platform needs to make angles to get it to the setter. She sets to the hitter. And then for hitting is, what are the open spots that the other team is giving you? So angle with thumb down, angle with thumb up. So you can direct that ball with your force behind it and dictate how fast that ball goes. Tip it or swing hard. So this game is really, really fun. if you think about it in terms of gravity, force, and angles, because you're doing it all the time, you're getting pretty good at it. So I hope you can try it out sometime. And thanks for tuning in.
Okay, that was fascinating. That was, I do have a question before, so if anybody else has, okay, you go ahead, finish, Cathy, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm just holding up my volleyball.
Okay, do you ever purposely try to put some English on the ball, like to try to get it to spin? I noticed when you were talking about hitting, or spiking, you were thumb down and thumb up, and I'm wondering, do you ever work to get a spin on the ball so when it lands, it may direct it to bounce a different way?
Right.
Go ahead.
In serving, you may see a top spin serve where they jump and they hit the top of the ball and the ball spins and goes to the other side of the net. And because of the force, that ball's dropping fast. And so that is a good serve to have. And you see it more in the men's game than you do the women's game. But you have the float serve, which Tava did today. And then you have a top spin where you could put that English on it and make it go right to left or left to right.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff.
Okay. All right, other questions?
How long have you been playing for?
Oh my gosh, Sammy. How old's your mom? No, I'm teasing.
We're not allowed to say that on Zoom, Cathy.
So I started playing when I was in 6th grade. So what's that make me? 13? 13 or so? Yeah. So for a long time, and I really enjoy coaching and playing.
Cool.
Okay. And do you have a connection with the Olympics, Cathy?
I do. I had the opportunity to try out for the 1988 Olympics.
Wow.
And I made it as an alternate. So I went to Seoul, Korea and was part of the Olympics.
Cool.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? Yeah,
Wow.
it was just a great experience and it was fun.
Did you get to play as an alternate, or how does it work with an alternate?
I did not. We had 3 alternates, and thank goodness I have God in my life, because you train for 4 years and then then you're an alternate.
Yeah.
But I really thought some new doors would swing open, and certainly when we got to Seoul, Korea, I did a lot more that the team didn't do that I really appreciated, that I got to see more of the community.
Cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of the good things that happen.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay.
Carly, are you going to show off your setting skill?
No, Mom. All right. Well, it's thank Cathy. This is fascinating, and it
Thank
shows.
you.
Yeah, it shows the different forces and angles and velocity and all the kind of things involved in volleyball and all sports. But it's so cool to know that all these forces were playing, those forces, if you will, were also being played in our Bible stories.
Yes.
When you hear about like David and Goliath, the forces that were happening with that sling. So it's so cool to hear. So what do we say to Cathy?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well
All right.
done. That was fun.
All right. So great.